As to the performance of fiscal year 2017, our CFO, Mr. Nishiyama, already provided a presentation. As he said, operating income 7.6%, net income 362.9 billion. So we have come to a stage where we can meet the targets that we set for ourselves for the midterm business plan. Next page, please. Hitachi Transport, Hitachi Capital, Hitachi Koki, the businesses or entities carved out, if we exclude them, what does it look like? Between fiscal year 16 and 17, revenue 106% and adjusted operating income plus 1.2% improvements were seen, respectively. And CCC, 2.5 days of reduction, ROA up 1.7% improvement was seen. For CCC and ROA, 1 year ahead of the mid-term business plan, we have been able to hit the targets that we were to achieve in fiscal year 2018. So since 2016, what is it that we have been doing? Here's a summary. As of April 1st, 2016, we abolished the company system and we established small business units. Instead, front business units, platforms, and products, 3 layers. So smaller business units were introduced. We want to be thorough in eliminating low profitability businesses, and for that, small business units were more effective, we thought. And so we took measures to eliminate low profitability business. And May 10th of 2016, we announced Lumada. For 2 years ever since, we have developed a Lumada platform and collaborative creation with our customers. In fiscal year 2017, changing the gear for growth. As part of that, inclusive of acquisition of Saluair, we have pursued many expansion initiatives on a global basis. For Lumada, we strengthened Lumada, and we increased the number of collaborative creation projects with our customers. And this year, fiscal year 2018, of course, we have to hit the targets for midterm business plan. But 2021 midterm business plan, toward that, Hitachi must become a global company. We have to evolve into becoming a global company. And with that in mind, we would like to continue to pursue business structural reform. So CAGR, 4.7%. Of course, Hitachi Transport, Hitachi Capital, Hitachi Koki, the ones carved out are excluded on that basis. CAGR, 4.7% increase in revenue. That is what we have in mind. And at the same time, the income ratio is going to improve. So far, I provided you with a summary. And from this point onward, I would like to cover the details of the progress made in fiscal year 2017. On a global basis, here's this revenue. Our revenue in overseas was up 13% year on year. North America, China, Europe, and Asia. In all these regions, there was an increase in revenue. What's written here, described here, is the focus of each of the regions. And let me discuss details by business area. First on railway. Ansaldo was acquired for our railway business. Hitachi Rail Italy was established, and together with Ansaldo, it is expanding the railway business globally. And there's a head office for this in the UK. And IEP in the UK is seeing expanded sales, and at the same time, Ansaldo STS and Hitachi Rail Italy, together with them, sales is being expanded. In Miami, there's a factory, and delivery to Miami Metro has begun. And roll stock for Baltimore Metro, as well as signal systems, we were able to receive orders on the order of 45 billion yen, and this is being developed. For industrial equipment, Saluair was acquired. Utilizing Saluair's sales channels, products of Hitachi Industrial Equipment Systems are being sold and expanded. Air compressors are being sold, and their sales are increasing. As in the sales channels, digital-related Lumada solutions are also to be added for sale. And for IT products, all-flash storage products, they are doing extremely well today. And this year, fiscal year 2018, we would like to accelerate the sales of flash storage products for construction machinery. The market conditions in China have recovered, and this led to increased revenue and sales. Next. So strengthening Lumada, that was what was done. So the platform for digital technologies has been developed, strengthening the front business. In September last year, Vantara, that's Pentaho's team, Hitachi storage team, Hitachi Inside, they were all consolidated into Vantara, comprised of 7,000 people. And starting from April 1st this year, there's Hitachi Vantara and Hitachi Consulting. The two are to be combined for the front team. Hitachi Global Digital Holdings was established as of April this year. And Hitachi Global Digital Holdings is going to implement Lumada business globally. That was the decision made. In order to facilitate access to customers, we have installed CCOs, Chief Commercial Officers. They're appointed in North America, Europe, and Asia. In China, because politics and economy are closely intertwined, so the head of China business is working on both. And in terms of strengthening, enhancing Lumada, we have accumulated so many use cases already. If you could take a look at the graph on the right-hand side, overall, more than 500 use cases have been accumulated so far. Cost optimization, cost visualization, which lead to productivity enhancement. On top of that, quality improvement and risk reduction for factories. Such use cases have been accumulated, many of them. And Western countries and China and APAC, more than 1,000 cases are emerging. So collaborative creation with customers is proceeding well here in Japan too, and I would like to touch upon that later. On the other hand, business structural reform. This is being implemented continuously for low profitability business. It is to be shrunk, eliminated, withdrawn from, and profitability increased. As Mr. Nishiyama said, in fiscal year 2017, an improvement of 38 billion was seen. And with implementation of business structural reform, another improvement of 15 billion. And between fiscal year 16 and 17, in 2 years' time, as is at the bottom, Hitachi Transport and Hitachi Capital included, selection and focus of businesses was performed. As a result, 1.5 trillion yen worth of business reorganization was conducted. On the other hand, MONOZUKURI, or manufacturing, and quality strengthening, quality improvement is crucial. Servers and storage products, in order to manufacture them in the future, we have to drive volume. We have to increase volume of these products. We cannot strengthen MONOZUKURI or manufacturing capabilities. So we thought of having collaborations with other companies. With UMC, we are trying to pursue a better and stronger manufacturing or MONOZUKURI. And rather than selling Lumada externally, we should try to make more internal use of Lumada within Hitachi. So in order to drive efficiency enhancement, we are to apply Lumada more. 115 cases internally with respect to Lumada have been accumulated. What I'm saying is that We want our internal cases utilizing Lumada to make businesses better shown to customers so that they can be sold to customers. So leveraging Lumada, we should try to visualize work processes. That's what we've said. But from visualization, internally visualization to customers, we have to showcase this to customers. That is what we need to do. And that is how we are pursuing Lumada and evolving Lumada. Next, on quality improvement, digitization is well underway today. For example, if we look at cars, the automotive industry or energy industry, rather than just supplying and delivering products, the ratio of software as a percentage of total business is increasing. Within Hitachi, there's information technology team, which have accumulated expertise of software and quality management, and the expertise should be applied horizontally throughout the group. That is what we're doing. And collecting data without human intervention so that it can be recorded automatically. So we're trying to develop data systems that require no human intervention or human resources. And driving profitability growth, that's what we've been saying. As of April 1st last year, we established Investment Strategy Division within Hitachi. Investment Strategy Division, that's newly established. We reviewed the assets that could be placed orders for. And as you can see on the right-hand side graph, where ROA is high and potential for global growth high, so top right quadrant, that is where we should be concentrating. We're making an approach towards that. And among the existing assets, the ones with low profitability should either be sold or disposed of. And that is the approach that we are taking. And in terms of utilizing funds more efficiently, external capital should be leveraged better. And we need to recruit highly competent human resources who are good at doing that. We're recruiting such people too. So as a result of these activities and actions for fiscal year 2017, front business expanded by 39%. So their share as a percentage of revenue, 40%, overseas ratio 50%, and operating income ratio 7.8%, an improvement, and ROA 5%. And fiscal year 2018 targets have already been met. Next, on further growth in social innovation business. As you well know, the UN made a proposal for SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals and 169 targets announced in 2015. So SDGs are pursued, and Society 5.0 that the Japanese government is aiming at, both are about how to solve social issues. Given the large business volume, social issues and economic growth, both are to be pursued. These are two wheels of the car, if you will. And this is exactly the same concept as that of Hitachi's social innovation business. So by pursuing social innovation, we will be able to support SDGs and Society 5.0. That is what we would like to continue to do.
This is as is discussed earlier. For FY 2018, we will achieve the medium-term business plan, and we will be focusing on changing our business on a global manner. So globally integrated enterprise is our focus. First off, what we aim for under the digital age. So we would like to be selected as #1 innovation partner. So when the customer company think about innovation, then they will come up with the idea of Hitachi at the top of their head. So that's why we are providing Lumada, which is an IoT platform, where this is not a simple IoT platform. First, we need to share the issues with the customers, and after that, we will make issues visible. and we will create a solution and a business, and we will be verifying that option. And if it is found out to be feasible, and then it will be implemented over the platform of Lumada. So all of the methods which we call experience are pursued. So this is the co-creation process with the customer. In the case of Lumada, for example, and the manufacturers, how lead time could be shortened or minimized in the factories, or how they could improve the sales and also improve the quality. By using Lumada, all these indicators can be made visible, and then if that is feasible, then the model is going to be implemented in Lumada platform. So that is the way which we pursue. There are several business cases which I hope to share. First is the company Penske, which is the truck leasing company. We collaborated with Penske and co-creation with Penske, and we have shared the information about the vehicle management and vehicle in operation, and we are working to improve the utilization rate of a vehicle. For second business case is Yamato Transport. We visualize the data collected from the carts and analyze the driver's behavior, which improves the safety driving practices of the drivers. Next example is for the Copenhagen Metro. We monitor the flow of the people, how many people are waiting on the platform, for instance, and the diagram will be prepared automatically, and then the operation is implemented automatically. That will reduce the congestions and improve the customer experiences and operational efficiency. So that's where Hitachi is fully capable of, where we do understand the operation of the metros and the railways, and we can actually provide the rolling stock as well, and we provide IoT as well, and that's why we are able to provide these services in an integrated way. And for Nishi Nippon Railroad, all the data of bus running records and loading road in and out of the customers, and proposing the improvement of operational efficiency and passengers' experiences. And we are testing and demonstrating over Lumada. Next example is that for manufacturers, there are many factories that we have in Hitachi. This is Omika business, Omika Works, where this is providing the small lot, multiple item production, and this provides multiple numbers of machine and equipment for production facilities, and challenges to improve the efficiencies and ensure the utilization rate of the facility is very important. And using Lumada, we improve the operations of Omika, and we are working with Okuma and try to work with Okuma to improve the utilization of the factories. We demonstrated our in-house examples to Okuma, and Okuma is now implementing that strategy in-house. Now, once they reform the manufacturing, and then next they will work on the logistics and also the lead time as well. So ultimately, they will be able to improve the whole lead time. We were able to capture all the data across the board on Lumada, and that's why we are able to endeavor this area. So that's what we are promoting at this moment. So in the efforts of rolling out the social innovation businesses, we'd like to roll out our strengths and core business to global market. For example, for financial solutions and financial SI and the solution business, which we'd like to endeavor in North American and Asia market. And for the industrial equipment and solutions, we acquired Salia. So we will be selling our industrial equipment business. And at the same time, we'd like to sell the manufacturing solutions as well, that we'd like to implement in North America as well as Asia. And for elevators and escalators, we are currently being in this business in Japan and China, but we'd like to roll out this business to Asia as well. And it's not just a product selling elevators and escalators, but we'd like to work on the building-related solutions as well. For railway, we are mostly focusing on Europe for railway. However, unsold acquisition allows us to endeavor into North America or other markets, which we would like to roll out further so that we'd like to expand our turnkey business for railway. 3 trillion yen size of the business is currently existing for these businesses, but in FY 2021, we'd like to grow by 5 to 10% of CAGR. Let me describe the overseas business. For the financial solutions, we are working with Vietnam Post, where we are providing the digitization of financial services, where all the pension information is now being digitalized, and we are giving the individual certification or authentication, ID authentication, and we'd like to expand that to non-cash payment business as well. We are providing the social infrastructure in India, where Prime Minister Modi is insisting on digital India idea, and we will provide the Lumada business for that. And Hitachi MGRM-net was now being established as a new company, and we decided to provide solution and services through Hitachi MGRM-net. So e-education, e-agriculture, or all these type of a business could be rolled out under the social infrastructure idea. Now, what are the management base for growth to underpin these growth in businesses? Now, 4 business domains were discussed earlier, and for what particular area which we will invest in more. Keywords are the investment directions. First, expansion of the global businesses, and second is expansion of digital service businesses, and the third is to take countermeasures for the sustainable society, for example, carbon-free investment. And these are the core investment targets for power and energy, renewable energy, or distributed power solutions are the focus area for our investment. And for industry and distribution and waters, like you saw in the example of a Saloair distribution channel, we will be selling our manufacturing equipment solutions over their network. And for urban solutions, the railway turnkey system and new installations and maintenance of elevators and escalators. And for automotive business, well, the electric powertrains are becoming popular now, and mobility as a service is becoming a major trend, inclusive of autonomous driving, where we would like to invest more. In regard to finance and social and healthcare services, the financial payment or e-government are the focal point for our investment. Now, this is the idea for FY21. This is the architecture of Hitachi Ltd, or the vision. So there are 3 layers as we structure our business: front, platform, and products. But we need to combine front and platform integrated together in providing solutions to the customers. So we'd like to focus on strengthening the teams and structures to enhance front and platform integration. And on top of that, we have products where power products and elevators and so forth. We have to be very strong in each product area as well. So direct provision of products could be possible as well to the customer. Then that is the level of advantage or strength of a product which we would like to attain. So that is the midterm strategy for 2021. We will have frontline/platform versus product, and we would like to draw the pictures for 2021. So this is actually the challenge of FY 2018, and when we announce the medium-term management plan, we will be announcing more detailed ideas in the near future. Now, in order for us to work on this reform, human resources is the key. So talent is very important. And for the talents useful for global management, we'd like to assign the global talents for the management executives. And we are starting to assign the non-Japanese for the global talents for the management executives. Of course, railway system is, of course, the British national. And for automotive systems, Mr. Griskop, who is non-Japanese as well, we already decided on that assignment. And the person who will drive the Lumada on the global basis, which is the Hitachi Global Digital Holdings, the American national, is going to be assigned in the near future. And for the frontline executives, for North America, Europe, and Asia, Chief Commercial Officer, top personnel of the sales is going to be the non-Japanese. There will be 4 members to head these regions, and also from the very famous, well-known global companies. We're having a very good experts, a total of 30 experts. Well, there are about 300 people which we are willing to work in our company, and the 30 top-class experts in each business field from global IoT companies are now being hired, and we are trying to improve diversity so that we can improve innovation. And for the executive members, that is a level below the executive officers. There's about 80 candidates, and among the 80 candidates, by year 2020, inclusive of women, female workers, as well as non-Japanese, who shall be accounting about 10%. So 10% at least for the executive candidates shall be either female or non-Japanese. So diversity is something which we'd like to promote going forward. Now, investments for creating #1 products and services is very important, and we will enhance R&D. We would like to provide #1 products or technologies, well, where we would like to invest in R&D. Blockchain technologies, autonomous driving, the optimized factory AI robotics are a possible field, and we would like to invest more in R&D so that we can develop products more. Now, we would like to catch opportunities in changing social and business trends. Edge computing is one trend where, in order to control the overall infrastructure for the manufacturing environment, edge computing is becoming popular. In order to accelerate this efforts, we've established a joint venture with FANUC and Preferred Networks. FANUC is having a very good platform for the manufacturing facilities, and we were working with Preferred Networks, and we are trying to develop the edge computing area. Also, we have participated in Edge Cross Consortium as one of the executive company, as a board member company. So we would like to work on such board-based consortium as well. Next, open innovation is very important. We are working with an incubation team as well. Therefore, we invested in a fund managed by an incubation company or a venture capital company so that we can find some seeds for further development. Now, next is about acceleration of management speed and improve operational efficiency. We would like to improve efficiency of the indirect department as well. First, we would like to simplify organizational structures. We would like to change roles and systems, or we would like to change the work processes as well. And there are 3 reform projects. The first one is to improve efficiency in indirect operations. And the second is to reduce the number of subsidiaries. And the third is using Lumada. We would like to increase visibility of the management's data. We have 3 reform projects where we are pursuing, and by year 2021, indirect operations alone will be generating about cost reduction of about 100 billion yen. Of course, gross margin improvement is important, and on top of that, there will be about 100 billion yen indirect operations improvement. As a result, we would like to improve fundamental aspects for our profitability. Horizon project is very important project, and GDA, which is the certification process for the spec and design, was completed, and now we have a full-fledged negotiation with the UK government for the financing portion of project, and this project has to be a bankable project, and FID of the this year is the target. And for the thermal power project in South Africa, we are in the process of arbitration procedure, and we are taking appropriate procedures. Now, looking ahead to FY 2021, our company is to help support and promote the social infrastructure, but this is the better way to put this way. Hitachi provides advanced societal infrastructures globally through digital solutions for improved quality of life, and that's what we are aimed for. in order to by materializing this, we would like to help support SDGs and also Society 5.0. And as a result of that, in the end of the medium-term management plan in 2021, we would like to enjoy a double-digit adjusted operating income ratio. So future is open for suggestions. That's what we say. The future is open for new suggestions. And through the collaboration and cooperation with customers and partners, we'd like to create new values in the society. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Let us move on to questions and answers. So, although time is limited, for the sake of the proceedings, in the first half of the Q&A session, we would like to take questions from the media. The latter half, questions from investors and analysts. We look forward to your kind cooperation. If you have a question, raise your hand. We will bring a microphone to you. Please make sure to state your name and affiliation before asking questions. So questions from the media first. Question. There are 3 points I would like to ask about. Fiscal year 18 for 2021 midterm management plan, you're going to continue to implement business structural reform. So the plan to be implemented in 2018, what are the reform measures planned for this fiscal year? Answer. I talked about part of the measures or initiatives. There are 3 reforms. One is reforming indirect operations or back office operations, meetings and business processes that exist. Well, they are being convened because of the rules that exist. I think we need to review them from scratch so that we can minimize the operations and processes. So indirect operations should be reviewed in that manner. Meetings, are meetings held for decision making or are they meetings for information sharing only? We need to separate the two. So doing that kind of reform, once that is complete, RPA, robotics, process automation. We would like to introduce IT and RPA to drive efficiencies for business processes. And reducing the number of subsidiaries. Of course, we have to reduce the number of human resources in the staff functions. At the same time, we have to eliminate compliance-related risks. That's also crucial. It's going to be planned this fiscal year, and it will be executed specifically in fiscal year 19 and onward, most probably. And visualization of business management. I talked about applying Lumada to factories. Lumada is already being used for sales operations as well as quality assurance. In the past, there were cases that can be analyzed by Lumada. What kind of improvements can be made as a result of the analysis that is being done? So reform of indirect operations, an impact of more than 10 billion yen is expected. And of course, directly, how to improve gross margin, that's very important. Especially this year, there was a rise in material costs and ingredient costs. So in view of that, what are we going to do? Well, this much, the cost is expected to rise. So leveraging scale merit, we should try to source cheaply. We need to standardize the process so that costs can be reduced, COGS can be reduced. So gross margin improvement will be pursued. SG&A and gross margin both need to be worked on, 2 wheels of the car, if you will. So toward 2021, in order to generate double-digit income, if we are to become a global company, I think we can be more competitive. We can come up with the level of profitability that will push us to become a global company. Understood. My second question is as follows. You said that you're going to develop a number of products to be number one. For example, GE's aircraft engine could be one of the example. So currently, what kind of products do you have that could be number one? And in the future, what kind of products would you like to make number one? Answer. As you pointed out, on a product basis, we don't really have number one products, not a lot of them. In railway business, rolling stock and operational management, IC ticketing, and human traffic simulation. When these are all combined, we can come up with a very attractive package. But for each of the products, are we number one? Not necessarily. But we are starting to see a number of products emerging in recent times. Well, one was awarded by a Japan Industrial Award from the Prime Minister. It uses amorphous motor compressor, integrated compressor, utilizing amorphous. CO2 energy efficiency becomes very good. Well, IE3 rules are implemented, but IE5, it's the level of IE5, 2 ranks above. So power consumption, half of that is because of motors. So using this technology, it will contribute a long way toward reducing CO2 emissions. It does not utilize rare earth either. So this is something that could become number one in the global markets. So we have that. And on elevator and escalator technology, 1,260 meters per minute, 21 meters per second. That is the fastest in the world. So I think these elevators, they're number one. And this technology is not something that was developed out of just manufacturing elevators. When Shinkansen bullet train enters a tunnel, wind is created. So aerodynamics technology related to Shinkansen was the basis. So as elevator descends, how to eliminate wind so that elevator can increase its speed. There's a synergy between Shinkansen and elevator. There's such potential that we can leverage in Hitachi. So we need to adeptly monetize that so that we can drive a global market share. There are a lot of other technologies where we can do that. So when it comes to overcapability, I think Hitachi can still win on many fronts. Thank you. Question number 3. So income ratio, operating income ratio of 8% to 10%, you are to drive that going forward. Well, if you cannot meet the target, if there are such risks, there could be risks associated with external business environment or business risks. So what are the risks that could impede you from achieving these targets? Answer. You're talking about fiscal year 18? Well, a question, it could be even beyond that. Well, answer. Well, one of the risks could be rising material cost. And today, there are so many geopolitical risks. A trade war is much talked about, too. So globally, trade friction-related risks and issues could deteriorate the global economy overall. If that is to happen, that could be a huge risk for us. And our assumption is that yen will be cheaper. And our assumption this year is 105 yen to the dollar. That's the exchange rate assumed. But because of various risks, this could change. So for fiscal year 18, those could be the risks for the time being. Over the middle to long term, I think we need to take a step back and look at the uncertainties. But then whatever the uncertainties in the future, we have to be able to hedge against them. So hedging in each region. Well, Hitachi has conglomerate discount. We have so many products. We need to sort them out. Because we are a conglomerate, we have to have better balance for our management. If this doesn't work, the other part may work. So we need to change the management so that hedging becomes more effective in the middle to long term. Thank you.
Other question, please. Question. 3 questions. Hitachi Ltd. so far failed to achieve the medium-term management plan. However, the currently ongoing midterm management plan for FY 2018, you have forecasted that the targets is going to be achieved. Now, you are actually achieved what you have said, and in your point, what has changed in Hitachi Ltd. in the eyes of Mr. Higashihara? Answer. Those who are working have changed their mindset. So mind change is the only one that I can say. We have better communications. The information will be escalated smoothly to my position. Therefore, we can take countermeasures ahead of the time about potential risks. That's the largest benefits for the last 2-3 years that I have been monitored. Well, the three very core principles where I directly come to the grounds and the sites, and there are some direct emails that I'm receiving, and also we are having direct conversation. So information and communication flow has improved much better. Now, when I do something that I mentioned earlier, as we explained, and we will be able to have even better communication with the people in the fields. And by receiving such information, we will be taking countermeasures ahead of time, and therefore we can actually take countermeasures ahead of time, and therefore we can meet the target. Well, what happened so far was that toward the end of the fiscal year, ultimately the people in the field were not able to communicate the problems well, and suddenly we had to downgrade our forecast. But we will be taking measures much ahead of time, and therefore that allows us to achieve the target. Thank you. Second question. For FY 2021 new target, 10% of OPM was now being announced. And I believe that you will be implementing structural reform. That will be the target, key focus. But what about more aggressive point of view? What is your thinking about M&A? Answer. 10% OPM is not the commitment line. Over 10% is our target. When I say 10%, and everyone in the company will only try to achieve 10%, but higher than 10% is our target. And in regard to M&A, it's all about timing, and Sal Air and others were already being implemented. And our attitude toward M&A is such that for product-related M&A, when I do that, then revenue and profit contribution will happen right away. But there are some projects to enhance frontline, for example. If there is a possible project, then that's okay. However, once we implement such M&A, and perhaps revenue profit contribution may materialize in 2 to 3 years' time in the future, we have to combine such different types of M&A well when we discuss the visions for the future. And if we continuously make an M&A just for the sake of a future, and the imminent cash will not be produced, and therefore there has to be a combination. And also there are counterparts as well. So we have to be carefully monitor the timing. 10 trillion yen was mentioned in the past, and in 2018, some may criticize that 10 trillion yen may not be achieved, but it's all matter here is the M&A. If we try to acquire 10 trillion right away, and profit will not reach the level, and therefore we will fail. Therefore, for 2021, we will be very careful. Front line versus the product type acquisition will be matched well in terms of cash flow, and also portfolio based, and also all the complementary relation has to be established, and that's the thinking about M&A. Thank you. The third question is, of course, is related to top line, as you mentioned earlier, and 10 trillion wasn't achieved in this medium-term management plan. However, so FY21, over 10% of OPM will have to be achieved, and when that happens, once again, top line 10 trillion yen is going to be in your scope of target. Is that right? Answer. Yes, CAGR 4.7% was mentioned earlier, and CAGR of 4.7%. With that number, easily 10 trillion is going to be achieved. So organic way, 10 trillion will be achieved, and that's my understanding. Thank you very much.
It's almost time. For the media people, this will be the last question that we will be taking from the media. Please go ahead. Question. Thank you for the presentation. So you will be competing with global top companies. They are your rivals, you've said. GE is in difficulty. So how do you view them? In order not to be in the same position, you have to increase growth. What are you paying attention to? answer, well, GE is in trouble, but their profitability is much better than Hitachi's. Well, because of problems associated with G Capital, they may be having some difficulty, but compared to GE, we're not yet up to that standard in terms of business management. So in order to become likes of GE, what do we have to do? I think we have to work more on our profitability. And in terms of GE has powerful products. Aircraft engine, for example, they have several very powerful business lines. Well, Hitachi's number one product, it was asked about earlier. We don't have a lot of number one products. So we would like to have such a very good products that could be number one. And OT times IT times products are overall capabilities. I talked about Copenhagen Metro railway business. In such a manner, I think we can draw upon our capabilities even more. And testimony to that is we have accumulation of more than 500 use cases with customers in overseas, more than 1,000. Given that OT times IT times products, that kind of capability, there's not a lot of other rivals who have similar capabilities. As an innovation partner, I think many customers are viewing Hitachi as a good candidate. So in terms of profitability, we are still behind global top rivals. But when it comes to Hitachi being the innovation partner, we are expecting our customers to look at us. And with that as a differentiating factor, we would like to strengthen our businesses.
こちら事務局の方から一点
One correction about the figures earlier in the presentation. Indirect cost reduction by FI 2021 was 100 billion yen. But slide 30 is describing that number here. So next, I'd like to invite questions from investors, please.
それご質問内容でございまし
If there are no questions from investors or financial analysts, securities analysts, we would like to bring the Q&A session to a close. Thank you very much for your participation. Last but not least, administrative announcements from the Secretariat as we conduct every year, Hitachi IR. On the 8th of June, in the same venue as today, we're going to organize Hitachi IR Day. I look forward to your kind attendance then. With that, we would like to conclude today's meeting. Thank you.